I know I'm gonna have somebody comment on my video today or tomorrow. They're gonna be like, the name gonna be like G Breezy 769. He gonna be like, he's a fucking hater, my nigga. Damian Lillard's the fucking god, nigga. You gonna put some respect on his name, nigga. You know. But this is my thing, man. Um, Last night, of course, the Portland Trailblazers defeated the Golden State Warriors. I can't remember the final score. It might have been like 128, 124, or something like that. Um, but Dame Lillard had a career high and a franchise record 61 points on 17 of 37 shooting from the floor. And, you know, if you looked at the box score, you would be inclined to think, like, you would be inclined to say something like, well, damn, I see why Lillard scored 61 points. He had no help. Carmelo Anthony only had 14 points. But the thing is, and I think CJ McCollum didn't play last night. But I've seen enough of the Portland Trailblazers this season, and I've listened to enough of them from listening to Tickets podcast to tell you that the way that the Portland Trailblazers are playing, they're never going to win a championship. I don't think honestly, unless they change the way they play, they're not even going to make it to a finals. Okay, and I'm just going to give you a couple reasons why. Uh, Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum play hero ball way too fucking much, man. Way too fucking much. That shit looks good at times when the shots are falling, but that shit is not going to win you championships. That shit is going to. It's the same criticisms we have toward, and that's my guy, Russell Westbrook, but the same criticisms you have toward Russell Westbrook and James Harden, okay? Uh, who shot like shit last night, missing 16 or 17 three-point attempts. But of course, whenever James Harden shoots like shit, the media doesn't seem to notice. But when Russell shoots like shit, they make sure to mention it, address it, go into detail about it, and show every one of the misses in the highlight reel. But I digress. But going back to Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum, they take stupid shots at times. They both play hero ball, and they have been more or less freezing out Carmelo Anthony this season, especially in the second half of games in fourth quarters. Carmelo Anthony is averaging 16 points per game this year, but he really should be averaging at least 18 points, if not 20. Like, he hasn't cracked 30 yet. And it's not because he isn't playing well. He's not getting enough shots. I don't even know if he's had 20 shot attempts in the game yet. I don't think so. He's not getting enough fucking shots, man. And look, Dan Lillard is a great guy. Dan Lillard is is the main guy from what I understand to help him that helped Carmelo Anthony get this opportunity. Okay, um, like I said, from what I understand, he's a great person. He's well liked in the NBA, and you know. But the thing is, I don't know whether Carmelo feels grateful for this opportunity. I don't know whether Carmelo is thinking of the fact that there's this narrative in the NBA that he's selfish and only cares about scoring. So I don't know whether that might be contributing to why Carmelo's not complaining about it. But you can see the frustration. He's not getting the ball in the second half of these games, man. Last night, Lillard was remarkable. But in the fourth quarter, he was shot jacking. Before the fourth quarter, Lillard was above 500 percentage in shooting. He started shot jacking in the second half of the game. He started really shot that, definitely in the fourth quarter of that game. Like, really shot jacking. And what went from what should have been a comfortable regulation victory for the Trailblazers, turned into a game where the Warriors were able to get back into it because Portland was taking dumb shots. Like, just ill-advised three-point attempts, and ultimately the Warriors were able to tie the game and go into overtime. And it took all 61 of those points for Portland to get away with a victory, man. I'm going to tell you something, man. I'm one of the ones that was commending Lillard on the fact that he has been resistant to join a super team. All right, but now I'm starting to wonder if his motives might be that he just don't want to sacrifice his numbers. I'm trying. Like I said, I don't have no evidence to back that up, but I'm wondering if that's possibly one of his motives because I don't get it. I don't understand when you watch these two guys play. They don't try to get Carmelo involved at all sometimes. You're not going to win when you have a point guard taking 37 shots, and then you got Carmelo Anthony, one of the all-time great. And don't get me wrong, I've been critical of Carmelo Anthony in my time here on YouTube, but he is. There's one thing that he can do, and that is that he can score. 26,000 career points, 24 points per game career scoring average. You got to get this guy the ball sometimes. One of the worst things I saw is when Portland played and when they played the Knicks, maybe 2 weeks ago, and they did not get Carmelo Anthony the fucking ball. All right, Carmelo Anthony wound up with like 26 points, but he really should have had 40. And he's at Madison Square Garden, where he played at for 6, 7 years, and you don't get him the fucking ball. You know, ridiculous, man. But I look at the scoring so far this season, and Lillard has 28 points. He's averaging 28 points per game. McCollum is averaging 22. Anthony's averaging 16. To me, it should be more like Lillard 25, uh, McCollum maybe 22. Runs that he should be around where he's at right now. But I think it should be Lillard 25, McCollum about 22, maybe a little bit more. And I think Anthony should be at 19 or 20. I think Anthony needs more shots, man. I noticed that when he gets going offensively, Portland's offenses looks better. Um, they're just not going to win this way, man. And then the main reason why they're not going to win is two reasons. Number one, throughout NBA history, no team where a point guard dominated offensively won a championship. Now, when I say dominated, I mean dominate. Like he's averaging 30 and no one's near him scoring wise. I'm not talking about, well, this guy averaged 21.9 and he played point guard. Okay, he led the team scoring. I'm not talking about that shit. I'm not talking about like where, it was by committee, but technically he led the team in scoring. I'm talking about where a guy averaged like 27, 28, 29 points per game playing the point guard position and they won a title. It hasn't happened. Okay? It just doesn't happen. The closest anybody came to achieving that was Steph Curry in 2015-16 when he averaged 30.1 points per game leading the NBA in scoring on a historically great team. And that factor Although we all know there's other factors involved, but that was one of the contributing factors that led to the demise of that team ultimately. And one of the problems when you have a guy that shoots the ball that much at that position, as you played better teams into playoffs, it's, the teams are better defensively, and it's so easy to key on a point guard when you know that he's going to be the main scoring threat. You're asking a lot of a point guard to be the primary ball handler, running the offense, being a distributor, and being the main scoring threat. You're asking a lot for one guy. Plus the fact that point guards are generally the smallest guy on the floor. Uh, it's easy to knock them off stride, easier to knock them off their game. And that's why sometimes Curry struggles in the finals. Now, when I say struggle, I don't mean like he's like averaging 10 points a game or something like that. He still put up like 25, 26 points a game, but the shooting percentages are down. The turnovers might be up a little bit. And come fourth quarter, he struggles because he's a little bit tired. Okay? Especially as the series progresses. But you think about it throughout history, there's been no point guard that has dominated offensively for a team and they won a title. Isaiah Thomas, when he joined the Detroit Pistons in the early 80s, he was averaging like 24, 25, I think, something like that. But when he was playing with the Pistons and he was scoring more, they were an average team. It wasn't until they got better, they had more pieces, and he became more of a distributor and let others get involved offensively, and his scoring went down to more like 18, 19. Then they became a championship caliber team. But when you go through all the teams in NBA history, all right, none of them featured a point guard that was a huge big time scorer at that particular time. Oscar Robertson, of course, was a big time scorer with the Cincinnati Royals, now known as the Sacramento Kings. But it wasn't until he became like the third option or something like that with the Milwaukee Bucks that he won a title. Nate Archibald, great scorer for the Kansas City Omaha Kings in the 1970s, had seasons averaging 26, 28, and 34 points per game. We all know he had that season where he led the league in scoring and assists at the same time. But it wasn't until he joined the Boston Celtics, became more of a team player, and, more or less just focused on running the offense, that he won a title. And I think in those years he was averaging like 17 or 18 points a game or something like that. So the point is, even the great Magic Johnson, it was more scoring by committee. Now he might technically have led the team in scoring, but it was other guys that were involved as well. It was scoring by committee. Magic might average 24 one year. Kareem might average 22 or 23. James Worthy might average 22. Byron Scott might average 16 or 17. So nobody's dominating the ball. Everybody's getting involved. And it makes it harder for the team to game plan because you get all these different weapons. When you got one guy who's shooting the ball all the fucking time, especially at the point guard position, it's difficult. But just think about it, man. You go throughout the teams in history, there's been no guy that just dominated. Chauncey Billups, even him, it was scoring by committee. Yeah, he might have a game where he put up 23 points, but then you also had to contend with, Rasheed Wallace, who I think was actually the most dangerous offensive weapon to me. You had Rasheed Wallace, you had Rip Hamilton. So you had all these different guys that could score. So that's one of the reasons why this team's not going to do anything, man. If the scoring equation was more 25 Lillard, 22 McCollum, 19 or 20 Anthony, I guarantee you the Portland Trailblazers would be in the playoffs right now. They'd be like the 6th or 7th seed. And last but not least, scoring champions in general don't win titles. The only guys that have won scoring titles and won a championship were the great George Mikan with the Minneapolis Lakers, Lou Alcindor, soon to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the Milwaukee Bucks in 1970-71, and Michael Jordan with the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. That goes to show you just how great those players were. Scoring champions generally don't win titles. And you can go through the history. Kevin Durant won all his scoring titles with the Thunder. James Harden leading the NBA scoring, averaging 36, 37 points per game right now. And I can guarantee you that the Rockets are not going to be in the finals. And I've been saying that since the season started. Okay? There's just certain basketball truths that are true. That's why sometimes I can tell you something from the beginning of the season and you'll think I'm a hater, but then I'm proven correct during the playoffs. But yeah, Dame Lillard's a great player, but until Terry Stotts, excuse me, C.J. McCollum, uh, Dame Lillard, those guys changed their game, changed the way they play, changed their offense. They're not going to win a title.